What's up everybody, this is Derek here, and if you're trying to play PUBG Mobile right now, you're probably getting this server did not respond screen. That's because these servers are currently down for the 0.13.0 global update. However, while the servers are down, I figured why not take the opportunity to talk about the patch notes, what we can look forward to in this latest patch. You guys can let me know in the comments section down below what you're most excited for, what you might not be as excited for, and we'll go from there. So unfortunately, I tried to make this easier to read. I put it white text on black background, so because originally it was very bunched together, but there's a lot to get through, so let's get started. So we got PUBG Mobile 0.13.0, and when this update comes out, or if you're watching this after the update did come out, I will be posting additional content on the update, so do not worry. We can highlight some of these new features and changes in those videos. But here's what's new. So we got Team Deathmatch added to Evo Ground, which is where the zombie mode is. So now we have Classic, Arcade, and Evo Ground, and this is a new mode that features fast-paced firefights in both first-person and third-person perspectives, and players can also create their own rooms with room cards, so definitely look forward to some custom rooms when the update drops. I will definitely be testing that out for you guys. So this is a smaller, faster experience, very similar to Call of Duty. So if you're looking forward to Call of Duty Mobile, also produced by Tencent Games, then this is going to be very similar to that, but with PUBG weapons and PUBG maps and stuff. So definitely excited to see how Team Deathmatch plays, because I feel like it is a more natural fit for a phone or tablet, something that you want to play on the go. Maybe you only have 5 or 10 minutes lunch break, that sort of thing. So they've also added control settings for first-person perspective. So now you can have separate settings for third-person, first-person. This is something that a lot of us have been looking forward to for a long time. I'm glad they're finally implementing it in the global version, because your first-person perspective sensitivity settings, loot settings can be very different than your third-person ones, and it's nice that you don't have to change everything if you want to switch what mode you're playing. They've also upgraded a third-party app prevention system, enhanced detection of cheating behavior, virtual app emulators, and modifiers. So we'll see how effective this is. Obviously, hackers a big issue with the game, so if they are able to increase the detection and banning of people using cheats, I'm all for it, because we want everybody on a level playing field. They've also added MVP showcase system at the end of each match, and players will receive the default MVP pose, okay, and the top 3 players or the MVP of this winning squad in Team Deathmatch will be featured. So this is something we're really just going to have to see when the update drops, see how that is implemented. And they did have a beta, but the beta was a little tricky. You needed about 7 gigabytes of storage in order to install it on an Android device. So a lot of people, it was crashing when they were trying to update to the beta. And the beta for iOS also didn't come out for a long time after the beta for Android did, so some people just didn't download it because of that too. So I have a feeling that this is going to be an update that a lot of us are experiencing for the first time, just because not as many were in on the beta. So what else do we have? We've got Vikendi. Players now leave footprints, trails, tire tracks on the snow. It was this way in the PC version of the game for a while. I'm glad that they brought it over to the global version. There are still some features that are in the Chinese version, or were in the Chinese version of the game, like windows that, the window glass rather, that they didn't bring to the global version for performance issues. So I'm glad that they were able to find a way to put footprints, trails, and tire tracks in the snow, because it really does make the experience more dynamic, more fun when you're trying to hunt down somebody, or when somebody's trying to evade you or run away from you. Maybe it's a 1v4 or something. Now they cannot as easily hide in Vikendi. They've added a dedicated button for climbing that can be enabled in the settings, so now you do not have to worry about just mindlessly jumping in front of something you're trying to vault over. So now there's a button for climbing. We'll have to see how well that works, and if it is more efficient to use that dedicated button, or just continue to use jump. When killed by friendly fire, players can decide if teammates should lose merit or not. This is nice, because if you're playing with your friends and somebody just has an ill-timed grenade, or you don't announce that you're, throwing a Molotov or whatever, accidents happen and friends just die in random ways in this game. And it's nice to know that you're not going to lose merit if it wasn't intentional. Now, it's nice that if it is intentional and maybe you're on a random squad and the person just doesn't like you and runs you over with a vehicle or something, then you can deduct merit from them, but it's not by default. Now it's that you can choose it, which makes more sense. So they've got the Godzilla theme for the Godzilla collaboration, with the lobby background added along with many theme events and rewards after the update. So this is the latest collaboration, just like some of the past ones where we had a new lobby screen. I think the first one was last year on Halloween, I think was the first time that they changed the lobby screen. But they've done it a number of times since then, sometimes with these sponsored collaborations. And there you go. Take it from it what you will. They've also added a new popularity gift and ranking reward. So every week, top 100 players in the list may collect the title all-time popularity or recent popularity. So 100 players, I'm assuming, on each server. So you must play a lot if you hope to get that. But it's cool, something to shoot for if you're on the game for hours anyways. Why not get this new reward? They've also added charisma ranking, which relies on basically the number of permanent outfits and firearm vehicle finishes. So the more items you have, the more charisma you have. I feel like charisma, it's a little different. It's not what I would expect. I would expect charisma would be more like the ratio of likes that you get. So you know how you can get likes at the end of the match, and you can get well liked if you get enough of them. I feel like charisma should be a function of that. So if you get likes 1 out of every 2 times that you play, 50% chance of getting one, then you have that. I don't know. Anyways, that's kind of where my mind was going when I was thinking charisma versus just collecting finishes and outfits. But there you have it. They've also added some new achievements, so we'll look at these in the game to see what the rewards are, as well as how easy or difficult they are to get. So we've got the Victory Legion, complete 1, 5, 10, 20 matches. So going to be a number of tiers for that one, with dominating in Team Deathmatch. So you can see that Team Deathmatch is definitely the feature highlight of the update, and these achievements are going to complement that nicely. So we've got Alpha and Omega get the first kill, final kill in a Team Deathmatch game. So that's another achievement you can earn. That should be pretty easy. They also have T800, achieve Terminator 1 time in Team Deathmatch. We'll have to see what the stipulations are for achieving Terminator, but it sounds pretty epic. And then we have Envoy of War, which is complete a series of missions in Team Deathmatch. So now there are going to be missions that you can complete unique to that game mode. They have also made some other improvements, and there are a number of them. So let's go run them down real quick. A lot of them are in the zombie mode. So those of you playing classic or arcade, this isn't going to affect you, but let's see what they're talking about. So we've got old zombies replaced by new zombies. So if the gameplay was getting a little bit stale for you, now you can play with some new zombies. And again, we'll kind of have to see how that works in the game, because it's hard, just reading it to know what to expect. Also have the liquid nitrogen grenade, which now leaves behind a cloud of freezing smoke on the ground for a long period after the explosion. So this is kind of like a frost trap in other games. So it reduces the movement of any unit in the area. So it's like an area of effect slow. They've also added new mode combat modifiers, which we'll have to see what those are like in game too, because it's hard to explain. And then certain zombies now have new abilities. So tanks empower nearby allies, skinners can slow nearby players, and more. So that's going to be neat, and my advice is always just kill the groups of them. That way they can't employ these new abilities. That way you're only dealing with a couple at a time. Harder said than done though, and especially when you get to the second night. But new factory has replaced the police station. That's a little disappointing, because the police station was a pretty neat structure to explore, and there were actually a couple spots in the police station where the zombies couldn't get to you, so that was pretty funny. So we'll have to see what the new factory is all about, though. I do like the Malta factory on a wrangle, so we'll have to see if it's modeled after that or if it's a completely new design. And they've also added some inventory improvements, so players can now combine items in batches in your inventory. Makes it a little bit easier as we're getting more and more items that are occupying your bags. Now you can more easily group them together. So again, we'll see what that's like in game. You can see there's a repeating theme here. A lot of these we have to really explore in the game and go from there, and we'll get a better sense of what they're all about. So duplicated items or equipped items will now be displayed on top. I felt like that was the way it was anyways, but that's good that that's there. So all right, cool. They've also duplicated new items will no longer be indicated by a red dot and the new tag. Honestly, I don't know. Duplicates don't really bother me because you can just dismantle them anyways, but that's there. And the backpack and helmet tabs have been moved to the customization tab, so they're going to make those a little more difficult to get to, potentially because they are adding room for additional items in the future, in future updates, and they wanted to clear up some of that like higher tier stuff, kind of bury it a little more. That way it's easier to get to the new stuff. So arcade opening mode times have been adjusted, so now we have a schedule of those arcade modes: Mondays and Wednesdays, sniper training and war mode; Tuesday, Thursday, mini zone, quick match; Fridays to Sundays, that's the weekend. All arcade modes are available UTC time. So UTC, depending on where you are in the world, just keep that in mind. So protective items are now 25% more durable. Effectiveness remains unchanged. Okay, interesting. Very interesting. So this is, I don't know if this is just an arcade mode or if this is in all the modes, but now your armor is going to have more durability, so it will last longer, but it's not going to be any more effective. So the damage percentage reduction is going to be the same for each of those levels. However, they will last longer. So that is actually a pretty big balance change, pretty far down in the patch notes. Players can now bolt, reload, bolt action while moving instead of completing the process while aiming down the sights. Okay, that is interesting. I'll have to see what that actually means. But that also sounds interesting. We've got improved animation in first person when running while holding an SMG. Okay, just a cosmetic change. Vehicles now have improved feedback on explosions. Oh no, do they no longer just do crazy things when they blow up? Because that's pretty funny. But we'll have to see if they are now more realistic, I guess. Event Center has improved interactions, better tutorials for the event missions, and remember there are going to be some Team Deathmatch missions now too, so we'll have to see. Crew Challenge qualifying round has been expanded. Now 6 will be held, up from 5. Each squad can participate up to 3 matches, up from 2. Each squad's allowed to participate a total of 18, up from 12. And new items have been added to the crew shop. So the Crew Challenge, that's obviously a lot of people are playing or were playing in the Club Open, but the Crew Challenge is a little more consistent in playing the games with your friends, and it's good to see that you can now play more games with your friends if you want to and if you have the time. And players who have been registered for the Crew Challenge now receive a notice 10 minutes before a match starts. That gives them time to jump out of whatever they're in. I'm not sure if this is a push notification or if it's, so it's going to show up in other apps, or if it's just going to show up while you're playing PUBG Mobile, but I would think that it is a push notification, which would be a nice reminder that you're supposed to be playing in 10 minutes. Players can now collect all rewards from daily missions, progress missions, and achievements all at once. So you used to be able to collect all rewards from, I guess that was achievements, I feel like, but now you can do all 3 at the same time. Awesome. So it just cuts down on the amount of time you're spending clicking collect. They've also added new clan insignias for level 7, 9, and 10 as clans continue to level up as the game ages. And they've added a latency. Finally, they've added a latency indicator to the main screen. So you've got green, yellow, and red representing good, average, or bad connection. So we already had the milliseconds. I don't think this is a huge change, but I guess it's convenient. I mean, anything that's color coded is just convenient, quick reference. I feel like that's what to expect out of that. So there you have it, 15 minutes of talking about the patch notes for 0.13.0. Obviously, a lot of changes coming to the game, some bigger than others. I feel like the armor change is one of the biggest ones that not a lot of people are talking about yet, the durability of your armor. My understanding is that it is all modes. I know I said I think it's I'm not sure if it's just arcade or not, but I'm pretty sure because it's under general notes that it would be affecting everything, which means that something like a level 2 vest might take a couple more shots to actually destroy now, which is obviously has huge implications in PUBG Mobile. So my name's Derek G. If you enjoyed the video, definitely give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and consider subscribing if you haven't already for tons more PUBG Mobile content. I'll definitely be talking about, definitely be showing off some of these new features once 0.13.0 is released globally. And until then, I hope to see you in the next one.